So I knew I needed to get independent, and I was just trying to get my mind together. I didn't realize they were trying to keep me from having any thoughts to myself so they could figure out what my next move was going to be. So that's why they were trying to pick me up so quick. And that's how this guy picked me up so quick. And I had money then, so yeah. So basically, I was telling LaMarcus I need to get independent. And LaMarcus was saying that he, understood, and he had a pocket full of money, and he was saying, you shouldn't be with anybody, or you shouldn't deal with nobody that try to stop you from making your money. And he knew that I told him it was escort, so he was trying to make it seem like he understood, like he would be a cool guy, to be cool with. But I didn't tell him that I was staying with James and that he was my boyfriend. I told him it was family because I knew me and James was pretty much through with how he was treating me, but I did not want to go into too much with LaMarcus because I didn't know he was involved. I had a feeling with how quick he pulled up on me and how quick they was pulling up on me, but I was like, just maybe they'll have a heart to help me. I did not know what the plot was. So LaMarcus knew about James' charge for pulling out the gun on me at Beverly Raoul's home. And I did not go with LaMarcus Sanders that night when I met him. I told him to drop me back off, because I didn't want James looking for me. James followed me. So when I came back in the house, he dropped me off. That night I didn't go anywhere with him. He dropped me off. I could barely even walk, y'all. He dropped me off right by the Wilcox, he didn't pick me up from there, but he picked me up close by, and he dropped me off there in the parking lot, and I got out. And I didn't really want him to see exactly where I was staying or anything, not knowing how much he was involved. And then so I had went in the house, and James had been following me, and I wasn't doing anything. I hadn't done anything with LaMarcus. And so I ended up calling LaMarcus one day and seeing if I could go over there, or he called me, however that went. And I went to Kings Row, and there was a girl named Kiki house that he brought me up in, and he had picked me up in a little white car. He had a black man in the car with him one time when he came to see me just to visit. But this time he was by himself, and he was on the phone with his baby mama talking about he gonna bring her some Pampers, and I cannot believe that they all was involved. Him, his old stupid ass baby mama, and everybody. So anyway, and that poor baby had rash all over her. Their daughter had rash all over her. It was disgusting, and somebody needs to go get these children from them. But anyway, so basically, LaMarcus, he brought me to Kings Row. It's some apartments, some low-income apartments in Sunnyside, around Cullen, MLK, Scott Street, around that area, and he brought me into a woman's home that they claim her name was Kiki. I don't know who properties they really using. It seems like some of these are their real properties, but then it also seemed like they're renting out these properties just to stage all of this stuff for my death, and to set me up, and then kind of go back to live where they actually are living, or deal with who they actually are dealing with, or they're going to jail or whatever. I don't know what's really going on. But I can tell you what did happen. So he brought me to this woman's home named Kiki, and she was there. And he introduced me to the girl, saying her name was Kiki. And we were at her house, and she left. She was there at first, and then he introduced me to his sister Pumpkin. She was a fat woman, really heavy set, and she basically had like one of those little short hair, like natural hair, where it's like that short and it was blonde. And supposedly they're twins with Peaches, but I met Pumpkin first. And basically, Pumpkin slept on the couch. Oh, I didn't know this. I met her the second time he brought me over there. So the first time I did meet Pumpkin, but she didn't spend the night with me. So the first night that I met Pumpkin was saying that she needed to, no, he was going to drop me back off because Charles Cross, as soon as we pulled up at Kiki house, Charles Cross was like, let me get the white car from you. And we was driving the white car. So I was like, okay, you know, they got something going on with that. And I was wondering why he was taking the car from him. And James had been leaving me in the house and doing all kind of crap or whatever. So I was just like, okay, you know. I was like, okay, you know, let's see what's going on with that. And so he brought me into the Kiki girl house, and he had given Charles Cross the car. He was like, his brother needed to take the car. But so I didn't have a way home right away. And when I went to Kiki house, he was pulling out like a whole pound of marijuana out of the cabinet. And I had my Bible. And I was, you know, looking at Revelations and everything because there was a lot of satanic witchcraft stuff they was doing. And they, you know, people was over there telling me in the spirit they raping kids and, you know, all this nonsense. So, you know, I was in my Bible. They over there doing all this to me in their house and then going to satanic Illuminati parties to celebrate their success and the death of someone that's innocent. So yeah, I had my Bible. I was reading Revelations because God showed me some stuff about the lake of burning sulfur. So I'm over here like, what the hell they got going on? And when does my salvation come? And so basically, somebody calling me because I'm telling something. Yeah, when does my salvation come? When do I get a savior? Because they all doing it. So I'm like, Jesus Christ has to be coming soon, or something has to be going to happen because they all over here trying to perform this satanic death ritual on me. And what do they get out of it? Really? What? They must just be trying to say to themselves, I don't know, but no, they was really over there celebrating, you know, and then trying to have parties. So I had my Bible, and he was over there going outside and talking to everybody like he's some big time drug dealer. And I was trying to get away from James. And this was a whole nother setup. So every time they're going out and they plotting, and then they said, no, where they gonna bring me to next and see how they gonna set me up there next. So I guess they felt this time they're gonna set me up with a drug dealer. And so I was like, okay, you know, they gonna set me up with a drug dealer this time, because I figured it was a kind of a plot when I got there. And he pulled me up in front of a church that was closed down, talking about, his family was in the church and trying to get close to me like that. And, you know, I was still studying in my Bible about the Garden of Eden and, you know, things like that, because it talks about that in the beginning. And I was reading of mankind in the beginning and all of that to try to, you know, figure some of this stuff out, because I know Jesus is Lord, but I don't understand why y'all out here sacrificing people and, you know, trying to kill people like y'all don't understand who God is. And so next thing you know, Charles Cross, like somebody came over. Charles Cross came over. And he had brought Lulu and Journey, Lily Morris's little girls over there, to Kiki's house. And he was standing outside, like he was selling drugs and everything, and it was black men coming up in the apartment. And they were acting like they were going to do something to me in the apartment. Like they was acting like they was finna hurt me right then and right there. And I was like, I don't know what the hell they got going on, but I had a little nail file, and I was like, if I got to poke one of their ass with this nail file, then I will. And then so I had, you know, felt uncomfortable, and I had locked the door, you know, and they was coming all up in there. Kiki left me in there, and LaMarcus left me in there, and these black men wearing all black was coming, trying to get up in the house and knocking on the door, and I was letting them in, and then they was kind of walking like they trying to intimidate me, and then I'm in there pregnant, not knowing that they knew already that I was pregnant, and that's why they were intimidating me the way that they were. So, after that, I told LaMarcus, you know, I was like, you know, take me home. But I had already told him I wanted to go home when I realized that it was a straight up drug house, you know, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, his brother left with the car, we was gonna have to wait. But I was very serious about going home, so his sister Peaches, Pumpkin showed up in a gold Mercedes-Benz kind of hatchback looking thing. Like a truck, a little small Mercedes-Benz truck. And she was saying she'll take me home. So she dropped me off at the Wilcox with James. But one thing that I remember LaMarcus was saying, because I was over there trying to look up some stuff about James' charges about, because they had so-called upped his charge to assault with a deadly weapon, because he pulled the gun out, he cocked it on me, and he said, don't say another word. And I was like, oh, you gonna shoot me? You know, for telling what you got, what y'all up here doing? You know, and then he was like, you know what, I pulled the gun. And so they upped his charge to assault with a deadly weapon now. So I was trying to see how much time could he get, because him and his mama and them was over there plotting on me to have me killed. And I was over there trying to figure out what the hell was, how long could he get for that, because I understand he was afraid. And I told him, I was like, well, just tell him that, you know, you didn't mean to do it, you were sorry. But he wasn't sorry, because he kept doing stuff. He told me he was sorry when I was at Barbie and them house, and he told me to come back. But then I found out when I got back to the Wilcox that he was recording it to try to make it seem like I was apologizing to him and try to make it, I mean, I missed him, you know, and I wish he hadn't pulled a gun on me, but I didn't know what was going on. So he was like, trying to record me and do stuff to make me upset in the house, to try to record me and my situation about how angry I am about being poisoned and being pregnant and people starving me, and, you know, just this whole situation. And he was trying to record me so that he could try to say, oh, she's crazy, she's a mental patient, and get his charges dropped. So I was over here at Kiki's house when LaMarcus brought me over there, and I was looking up some of the information, and LaMarcus was all asking me questions, and I had learned about brandishing, which is when you pull out a gun and you try to intimidate a victim with a gun. You may not shoot it, but just, you know, cocking it and then saying don't say another word, it would be considered brandishing. And they can up that to assault with a deadly weapon, because say the victim did say another word, say I did say something else and he shot me, you know, so then they upped it to an assault charge with a deadly weapon. And I was like, I had bleeding on my hand. I was grabbing the suitcase. I don't know how that happened, but I never told the police that he hit me. I showed them the video. Now, Austin John Meta, my baby daddy, who I shot, which is what this all is about, he was hitting me. But I never said James hit me. I just showed them the video of him threatening me with the gun, and I had not done anything but packing my bags and then telling what was going on. So LaMarcus was saying, oh, well, you know, I know somebody, like talking in code. He was like, oh, I know somebody, and they're going to have to kill their boyfriend. So I'm sitting over here like, kill their boyfriend? Kill their boyfriend? Okay, so man, he gonna meet me at the store. That he stayed right over here by Henry in them house, because they ain't trying to help me out with nothing, and everybody is involved. So just don't lay over here stressing me out so bad, and I don't have no money for anything. But anyway, so basically, brandishing can be up to an assault with a deadly weapon. So he was telling me I was gonna have to kill. He was like, I know somebody who gonna have to kill their boyfriend. And see, I knew he was gang affiliated. I'll meet you up there. I'm on the way. I didn't know if you were coming or not. I'll meet you. I walk fast. By the time you come out of the store, I'll be up there. Huh? Huh? I don't got no man. I'll see you up there. Thank you. Yeah, so so he basically was talking like I was gonna have to kill this man, James, because James was doing stuff and then walking around all cool, and he was trying to make me angry, and he was acting like he would hurt the baby. He started, like, if the camera wasn't on, he started acting like he would hurt the baby, you know, because he was pressing it to my stomach when I was asking him to feel it, and then he was trying to make it seem like he did it, and he was just acting real creepy. So I didn't even feel comfortable even being in the house with him after a while. So when he was saying this, I was like, well, I don't want to have to kill James, you know, and I know he's trying to get all these charges dropped, and people don't want to know that I'm pregnant, and I don't want him to go to this extent. And when he was talking like that, I knew LaMarcus is talking about James, and he know about James' charges, and he knows what's going on, but he's speaking in code, you know, and that scared the hell out of me. And I was like, ooh, Jesus, because that means that he will either try to kill me, or then I would have to kill him. And so I was like, I don't want to do that, you know. And I was listening, and I was like, maybe he not talking about James, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but now I know that he was. So because of how he's involved as well. But anyway, so Lord Jesus, Father God, Jehovah, please help me, Lord, to express what it is that I'm trying to say. So I had him drop me back off over by James' house, not knowing that all of this was a setup. And so then James was telling me he used to have a bad life and awesome stuff. And then James coming there one day to me, and he was telling me, because I was crying, and I was like, James, why are you leaving me like this? And I'm in distress, because he kept saying, oh, I'm going over here to my mom's house, but he was going to plot on me. And I didn't understand, like, what was going on, because when I was in his mom's house, they can all just sit on there, plot on me, and keep me in the trap without me knowing that I was in the trap. But being that we was in a new apartment now, he had to leave and go plot on me somewhere else. Which was for them to show him how to come back and handle me, to try to make it happen what they was trying to do. And I didn't know. So one day I was crying, and I was like, you know, and I was like, you know, I really need you, and you leaving me when I need you, to go over there and try to figure out how he was going to get his charges dropped for pulling out the gun on me, or for whatever else he had going on. And the way he was talking to his brother was like they was going to try to come and kill him, because he was like, they coming for me. And then Dominic was like, man, they not coming for you like that. You know, and I don't know, like, it just seemed kind of like he mean like, oh yeah, they're gonna lock you up, but they ain't gonna kill you. Like, I don't know, like, why would they kill you? What you into? And so one day James came to me, because y'all know I have visions and I can interpret dreams. So he came to me, and I was laying down in the bed, and he was like, Andrea, he was like, this like his second time telling me something about, he said he used to be a pastor, but he stopped. And then he came to me this time, was like, Andrea, I need you to interpret this dream for me, and I know you know how. And then I was like, what? And then he was like, because I'm a very loving person, and I really loved him. And I thought we was going to be together, and I didn't understand why he kept coming in there trying to provoke me and start arguments, and then act calm like he wasn't doing anything, and I'm over there blowing up, you know, about it, and, you know, then going off and lying about where he going and plotting and staying gone, just trying to do anything to make me upset, and then try to have the police involved when the police didn't need to be involved before he pulled a gun on me. There was no need for the police to be involved, so I didn't know he was trying to set me up, basically, because that's the only reason why you gonna try to bring the police around when there's no reason for the police to be around. And so basically, he was telling me, he's like, well, Andrea, he was like, I had a dream, and I need you to interpret it for me. And I was like, what? He was like, well, the devil was chasing me. And he said he had it a long time ago. He was like, the devil was chasing me. He was like, and the sun was shining down on me. He was like, but something about the sun being high, but and then he was like, and I was standing on a lake. He was like, but the devil couldn't catch me yet. No, he's like, but the devil couldn't get me yet. He was like, and I couldn't fall into the lake yet. And I was like, what the hell? And that's basically how he said it, but he said it another way, because they real good with words and everything, and I'm not really like that big of a deceiver like they are, but I understood what he was saying. You know, the sun, God is looking down, and he gonna let him fall up in that lake, and he gonna let the devil get him, and the devil gonna get him. He gonna fall up in that lake, but not right now. That's basically what he was saying. And so, hold on. Hey, you went in the store yet? I told you by the time you get in the store and come back. Yeah, so that's what he was saying. He was saying basically by the time that the devil will catch him or something like that. Here you go. Thank you. John, wait, can I have one more? Thank you, John. I'm Andrea, by the way.
Everybody know me.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. Bye. So, that's the lady. I'm not even gonna pay her no mind. That's Pooh and their mama riding past me. But anyway, so he was saying basically that that the devil couldn't get him yet. That he was behind him, chasing him, like he was trying to kill him, but he couldn't get him yet. And then he was saying something like the sun was shining down, like burning, but not yet. And then he was saying he was standing on the lake, but he couldn't fall in, like yet. But he might get saved, I don't know, but you know what that means. And he was telling me this over in the apartment while he was doing, after he had been doing all this stuff to me. And he was telling me he was recording me and trying to give it to some lawyer to try to get his charges dropped. So all of this trying to stage stuff with me to make me all upset and crying was to try to get his charges dropped. And so then they were trying to get me out of the house like in the middle of the night. And then like supposedly we had made up after the camera went off. And then he was saying like, you know, we was good. And he was still like acting funny. And I had a vision while I was awake of my body outside in a residential area on the sidewalk in this little burgundy two-piece outfit that I had. And I was like, damn. So it was like God would let me know, like, don't leave right now. Don't do it just yet. Because they trying to have your dead body outside. And then be like, oh, she was just a prostitute that got killed in the middle of the night. So then I kept staying, and we supposedly kept, you know, talking about we were going to work things out. And I kept waking up crying. And James was saying that he would get the evidence to a lawyer that could help me. And I was like waking up crying for my son because my son had been coming to me in the spirit. And I knew that I was pregnant. And, you know, my pregnancy being hidden and everything. So I was like, I told him, I was like, you know, I woke up crying. When he was saying he was going to work in the morning, I woke up crying. He started saying he couldn't pay the rent and that he needed me to help him pay the rent. And saying that he would give me money to post my body online so that I could help him pay the rent. And then he was saying, nah, he don't want me to do that. But then he was saying he can't pay the rent, like, you know, and they was putting eviction notices on the door, like trying to get me up out the house. And I was there for like 2-3 months. And it was horrible. And Lord Jesus, please help me still stay on track with what I'm saying, because a lot of distractions going on. People driving by trails and stuff, and then I put my focus on them instead of what I need to be saying about James and his involvement in this. So I was waking up every day and I was crying, and I was like, James, you know, I need to put the evidence out of what's going on with my son in my case, because he was acting like he did not know me when he met me, and he had a gun when he asked me to meet him at the hotel. And that's when I told him, like, look, I got people after me trying to kill me, but I didn't tell him I was pregnant. And I told him about that I shot my baby daddy, and that my son was involved, and that I was innocent, and they dropped the charges. And I said I wanted to know why he had the gun, and if someone sent him to kill me. And he was saying no, that he would protect. I was like, well, if you keep that gun to protect me, then I don't mind you having it. And he ended up pulling it out on me in his mom's house and cocking it once I realized that there was something fishy going on, and I was showing what they were doing. I wasn't quite sure just what the traps were yet, though. And so basically, Lord, please help me stay focused, because there's a lot of people driving past me right now. And the other man is in the house, so I'm trying to get as much information as I can while I can. So basically, I was telling him at the Wilcox, I was like, I need to get this evidence out, because he had pulled the gun on me in her home when I was showing, but like I said, showing, and then I was showing, my stomach was showing, and I was showing what they were doing in the house. And I guess maybe he got scared because he didn't know that I actually knew that something was going on, but I didn't know exactly what. So now that I know the plot, yeah, I see why he did pull the gun and cock it and tell me not to say another word, because of how his involvement in what they are trying to do. Now I know the plot, so let me go ahead and keep on going so y'all can understand what the plot is and why all of the Americans are doing this. So basically, I was at his this apartment where it's supposed to be both of our apartment, and I was saying I'm gonna put out the evidence, and the look in his eyes when I said, James, I looked up, I was crying on the air mattress, and I looked up at him when he was about to leave and go to work, and I was like, James, I was like, I'm about to start putting out the evidence about what happened to me. And because he was over there trying to get me to prostitute, and he was trying to start altercations with other women and with his mother and his family, and he was just being very evil. And I knew that all of this stemmed from what they did to me in the jail. All of this stemmed from them taking my son, leaving me in a vulnerable position out here in this country, making me lose my apartment and my home, stealing my child, having me out here pregnant, got these men thinking they could just do whatever to me, and then got me up in their house like they taking care of me when I need help. I need to be rescued. I don't need nobody telling me that I need to pay their bills and all of this mess. You know, I'm trying to get right. You know, I'm pregnant. And so, and I've been pausing I've been carrying for 2 years. What make you think I can get up and go and pay your damn bills, nigga? Excuse me. But, so I felt really bad, and I looked up at him crying, and I was like, Jane, I need to put out the evidence to my case. And I saw in his eyes, he was like, oh no. He was like, no. Do not do that. Whatever you do not do that. That's what he did. And I was down there on the, like, I was looking up at him, and he was like, no. Whatever you do, don't do that. He was like, I'll get you a lawyer. And I knew then. I looked in his eyes when he said that, and I was like, oh, James is trying to keep me from my son. And last time I called, when they was talking about Corona, and I told Cynthia, I was like, you need to put a mask on my baby to make sure my baby don't have COVID. She was like, oh, well, whatever. She was like, you don't care about him. You ain't seen him. You ain't this. And I told y'all why I have not seen my son. So I ain't even going to go into that, because the Holy Spirit is blocking me from that, because that's going to take me to explain how evil they was to keep me from my child. All God said was Cynthia O'Vera was wrong for trying to keep me from my son. But let me go ahead and just keep on going. When I called her again, I had to tell my baby, I was like, baby boy, mama not going to be able, I love you. He was like, I love you too, mama. And then I was like, I love you with all my heart, no matter what nobody say about me. And then he was like, I love you too, mama. And I knew that he knew what was going on too. That they was being evil and keeping him from his mama. And I knew that he knew that they was hurting me, because I knew that he knew mama loved me. Mama would never leave me. Mama would never leave me. And he knew these people keeping me from my mama. He was like, I love you too, mama. And I was like, no matter what nobody say about me, I love you. And he was like, okay, mama, I love you too. And that was the last time I talked to my son. Because God told me not to have no contact with Cynthia Vera no more because she was going to try to put a hit out on me. And he said that her son was going to jail. And he said she had been parading my baby around town. And that her son is going. That Austin, my baby daddy, is going to jail. I'm pressing charges on him. And he said that Cynthia was going to try to get me first. And he said, just don't call no more. I know you want to talk to your baby, but don't you call that woman no more. Because she was asking me for pictures of me and asking me what was the address. And look at what they out here doing to me and my child, and I'm pregnant. And she over there coming to me in the spirit, talking about trying to attack me in the spirit while I'm pregnant, talking about leave her son alone. And I had to pull a butter knife on her in the spirit. Because I'm pregnant. They've been trying to kill the baby in the spirit, doing witchcraft and voodoo. And I didn't even know that shit was real. And then I knew for sure who my God was. Because he was fighting them and he's still fighting them. And they doing powerful seances to try to kill this baby. I didn't know witchcraft existed. I didn't know. I thought it was made up. And then I snuck and called when they was shutting the country down, not knowing they was shutting it down to chase me around to kill me. And this baby, or steal this baby out of me. And then I called Cynthia to make sure my son was okay. And it was late. It was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And she the only one supposed to have him. And I know she's a Satanist. So I was like, I just want to speak to my son one time. And then she was like, oh, he's not here. And it just broke my heart because I started worrying, how the hell is he not there? And he is 3 years old. He's 4 now. He just had a birthday in October. But the COVID stuff started happening earlier than that. And so my thing was, how is he not there? If the judge gave you custody of him from me after I